Small, the Public Information Officer for the Commerce City Police Department. It's Monday, June 30th, and these are your weekend high or low lights, depending on how you look at them. This is essentially our video blotter where we give you a rundown of the most significant incidents your CCPD patrol officers responded to over the weekend. But we always like to start these off with a few fast facts. We answered 408 calls for service and made 97 traffic stops just on Saturday and Sunday. Now here are those highlights in chronological order. Overnight Thursday into Friday, officers attempted a traffic stop on a vehicle in the 6800 block of Highway 2. The vehicle began eluding our patrol officers by driving into oncoming traffic, so per policy and for everyone's safety, the officer discontinued with the attempted traffic stop. But a proactive CCPD patrol officer located the same vehicle in an apartment complex parking lot later that night. It was unoccupied and officers noticed evidence that suggested it was stolen, a damaged ignition and a flathead screwdriver on the passenger seat. Officers impounded the vehicle and the search for the driver is ongoing. Overnight Friday into Saturday, officers responded to the 6000 block of Parkway Drive for reports that a man in a ghost face mask was waving around a sword. When officers arrived on scene, they contacted the suspect, who was found to have multiple sharp metal pipes in his possession. He laid the pipes on the ground and allowed officers to detain him without further incident. It was learned that he hadn't threatened anyone with the pipes, so he is facing disorderly conduct charges as a result. He was also taken into custody on an outstanding warrant. Also on Friday, a vigilant CCPD patrol officer located what appeared to be a motorcycle crash at East 56th Avenue and Quebec Street. Officers contacted the rider of the motorcycle, who displayed signs of being under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Search incident to arrest revealed he also had a bag of cocaine in his pocket. He's now facing a number of charges to include DUI, unlawful possession of a controlled substance, and careless driving. On Saturday, officers assisted the Colorado State Patrol after they pursued a vehicle that had struck both CDOT and CSP vehicles and personnel, causing serious injuries. The Colorado State Patrol performed what's called a pit maneuver on I-270 at Vasquez, rendering the suspect vehicle inoperable. CCPD officers arrived on the scene and conducted a high-risk traffic stop with assistance from an Adams County canine. One occupant exited the vehicle and claimed another person had been driving but had fled the scene. However, there was no evidence that was the case. The occupant was taken into custody without further incident. I-270 eastbound was closed down while CSP conducted their investigation. On Sunday, officers responded to a cold, unlawful discharge call in the 6100 block of East 63rd Place. The victim called to report they had heard glass breaking and a loud pop the previous night, but did not investigate until morning. Officers who responded found a bullet had entered the residence through a window and landed inside the house. Fortunately, there were no injuries as a result. There was also no suspect information at this time. That same shift of officers Sunday were responding to a call for service when they came upon a four-vehicle crash in the 10,400 block of Highway 85 northbound. One of the involved parties sustained serious bodily injury. Officers administered assistance and then conducted their investigation, learning that a vehicle traveling southbound on Highway 85 lost its front driver's side tire, which then rolled into oncoming traffic. Vehicles crashed as they tried to avoid the tire, and one vehicle rolled over. The driver with the serious injury is expected to be okay. The causing driver was cited for careless driving, causing injury, driving under restraint, and having an unsafe or defective vehicle. Overnight Sunday into Monday, officers working off-duty at a business in the 5900 block of Dahlia were advised of a shoplifting in progress. One of the involved suspects refused to provide officers with her true identity, but using law enforcement resources, officers were able to determine her name and also that she had numerous outstanding warrants for her arrest. They also found she was in possession of fentanyl and, after using the restroom, claimed she was overdosing. Officers administered Narcan immediately and she was transported to the hospital for treatment. She is facing unlawful possession of a controlled substance, concealment of goods, and felony false reporting of identity to law enforcement charges. That's all for now. We'll see you next time. Have a safer week, Commerce City, and remember, if you need us, we are always just minutes away.